Hello, everyone. Jake Noecker here with my beautiful host, Sean Levine from Tapped Out. We're just here to talk about some UFC 276 bets. How's it going, Sean?
Yo, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying I'm beautiful. Let's be honest, though, brother. Without my beard, I look absolutely ridiculous. I can't wait for this thing to grow back.
When I saw you the other day without the beard for the first time, I was like, oh, but
So
I don't
was
think it looks
I.
bad. I don't think it looks bad.
It's uncomfortable. I'm supposed to be a bearded guy, so it is what it is. It'll be back.
I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, so UFC 276 this weekend, Israel Adesanya, Jared Cannonier, Volkanovsky, Holloway. I don't know, there's a bunch of other fights too. A little bit too earlier in the week to like have all the prop bets and method odds out. A lot of money lines out right now, and that's about it. Maybe a few over unders. So I just want to talk about some money lines that I like. I'll start probably with everyone's favorite fight other than the championships is Sugar Show Sean O'Malley coming back against Pedro Munoz. I like Munoz plus 220. What do you think about that?
I'm surprised to hear you say that, only because it feels like everybody is kind of on the Sean O'Malley train, and I'm part of that everybody. What's it going to cost me, Jake, to get Sugar Sean on the money line? Because I kind of feel the opposite of this one. Like, Munoz is definitely, he's game. And I look at it kind of like the Cheeto Vera fight, where if it ends up being that the other guy gets his hand raised, I'm not going to be completely shocked, but I don't think that this is the guy to get Sean. I think that the hype train continues. What's it going to cost me to get him on the money line?
We got Sean money line at minus 260. Good parlay piece.
Yeah, it is a good parlay piece. Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Like, I'm probably not going to pay the minus 260 on its own, but will I throw it in there with like another even money bet? Absolutely. I love that number.
Make it plus. Yeah, I love Sugar Show. Like, I'm a fan. I'm rooting for him. I just think Pedro's so durable, and he has the meanest calf kicks. And O'Malley, when we've seen him crumble, it's been with calf kicks. So I don't know. I just think there's value at the plus 220. I'm still hoping Sugar gets it done, but I think Pedro is mean, man. I think he's a mean goat.
Definitely is an interesting matchup. I wonder what I can get for Sean to knock him out, because it feels like that's always what everybody's wanting to play. But I never liked, Jake, the money that I can get on it. I always look down and I'm like, 2-1. Like, I'm gonna need to get paid a little bit more to knock out a guy like Pedro Munoz, who, like you said, is incredibly game and durable. So I don't know the exact way I'm gonna bet it, but I know I'm staying on the Sugar Show train.
I assume the O'Malley knockout comes around like minus 150, minus 180, which is crazy, but it could be worth a shot. Next up, which you might disagree with too. I think a lot of people are disagreeing with this. My boy Cowboy just signed on to fight Jim Miller on short notice, and they're putting Cowboy right now to the plus 180 underdog. That's screaming to me.
No, I'm actually with you on that one, Jake. Like, when Cowboy was supposed to fight Joe Lozon, I think Cowboy was way too big of a favorite. Like, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I'm not saying Cowboy couldn't have won that fight either the first time or the second time. I'm just saying that it should have been an even money bet, opposed to Cowboy being like a minus like 170, I think, on fight day. So
for sure,
I've changed my mind, though. Like, I think that this is Cowboy coming in on short notice, the Cowboy that we all know and love, against another guy who's kind of Cowboy-ish, right? Like, he's been around forever. He's willing to take these short notice fights. So what's the number I can get on Cowboy on the money line right now?
Cowboy money line landing in at, I got to dig a little deeper for that one. Do I have it in front of me? Yeah, to be determined. It's not out in the one I'm looking at. But I mean, if I have Jim Miller or, oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you asked for Jim Miller. Cowboys plus 180 money line.
Man, that's tasty, isn't it?
So tempting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really tempting. Like, I don't really understand the difference in, like, if Jim Miller was to go out there and fight Joe Lozon, Jake, you tell me, wouldn't that basically be a pick'em type fight? Like, we're talking about two dudes that are kind of the same. So I don't know, like, Cowboys numbers have changed so drastically. So just on the value, if I could get almost 2-1 on Cowboy to win the fight, yeah, bro, I'm all over that.
I would have thought this would have been more of a pick'em, but
for sure,
I'll take it. Who knows? So this next one, I want to go to the prelims here. Everybody's fan favorite, Robbie Lawler, going up against Brian Barberena. I don't understand the odds here. They're making Robbie Lawler the favorite slightly at minus 115, and they're giving Barberena the plus 105 underdog odds.
Oh,
another underdog play I love.
Well, you got to pay that Robbie Lawler tax. Like, you want to talk about a guy that has been liked from the time he got here to the time that he fought Ben Askren to even the last couple of years, when now he's like fighting on the undercard. And Robbie came out earlier this week and was saying that, you know, he's kind of surprised that he's fighting there. We're going back and forth about this on the show. go out there, look impressive against Barberino, and then all of a sudden you're back probably, opening another pay-per-view opposed to being on the prelims. So it's a big fight for Robbie Lawler. I'm not willing to pay for that. Like, I don't know about you, Jake, but I think we can kind of start to see the end of the tunnel for Robbie Lawler. I'm not saying that he's there just now, but is he the same dude that he was a few years ago when he was tearing up everybody, or even a couple of years ago? I referred back to that aspirin. Like, I don't like putting my money on him.
I will never put money on Robbie Lawler again after the performance against Nick Diaz. He won. He beat Nick Diaz, but to have a 10-year layoff, Nick Diaz come in and piece you up in the first round like that, Robbie Lawler, scared me, man. I don't think he's done yet, but I don't know if he can go in there and beat someone as durable as Barberena this weekend.
Dude, I'm more if Nick Diaz ever tests back in the octagon, I'm never putting money on him again. Like you said, I thought it was going pretty good, and I was telling everybody around me, I told you so. Come on, this one, and then he sat down. He sat his ass down in the middle of the octagon. I would never say that a Diaz brother quit to his face, but I would say it to you here on a podcast. He quit. He just dude, he sat there. So, I mean, if you made me, if we saw that fight again for whatever reason, I would take Robbie Lawler all day long. I'm never putting money on Nick Diaz again. I mean, I made money on him over the years, but never again.
I'll put money that Nick Diaz doesn't fight again. No shot. The hype's gone. No shot.
Fight again, period, or fight again in the UFC?
UFC.
Because I could definitely see him, a couple of years from now deciding to take a payday, like a bare knuckle payday or something like that. In the UFC, yeah, probably not. But more interesting than Nick, what about Nate? What are the chances we've seen? I mean, what's going on with that?
Dude, I love the Diaz bros. I love if they both came back, but Nate's having the contract issues with Dana, and McGregor seems occupied.
Nate's getting screwed though. Nate's getting really, and it's weird because you want to talk about people that have got screwed by the promotion, Jake, over the years. The weed thing with Diaz back in the day was just silly. I mean, just absolutely silly, especially now we're here in 2022. Wait, that guy got suspended for 5 years for smoking weed? What? But with Nate too, it's not just now where he's saying he's looking for a fight. It feels like it's been this way for a while, where they've been messing with him and they've kind of dictated his terms. And I'm not saying he's Conor McGregor, but there's not too many guys between his popularity and Conor McGregor. They're kind of pretty close to each other. So the way the promotion treats Conor, where he can choose his fights, where he fights, when he fights, all that stuff. Hell, even if he fights in the octagon or boxing for that matter. And then you got Nate that they completely screw. So I guess the only thing I can think of is that they're waiting for Conor to come back and be healthy, and that's their plan. Because nothing else, if it's the last fight on his contract, what else are they waiting for? If this guy wants to go out and fight Jake Paul or just fight anybody and get done with this UFC contract, what's the UFC doing?
Yeah, Nate deserves a big payday, whether it's against Jake Paul or whether it's in bare knuckle or some rinky-dink boxing promotion. He deserves a big payday.
That would be such a fun fight if he fought Jake Paul, bro. Because everybody's just waiting for him to get his ass kicked. Not Nate, but Jake. And it's when he fought. So I was the idiot that the first time around when he fought. What was his boy's name? Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson's athletic. He's won the dunk contest. That didn't work out well for me. And then against Woodley, I was well, I see Woodley knock some dudes out. Now it's been a while, a long while. Talk myself into that. That didn't work. I'm pretty sure Jake Paul's going to go out there and kick Tommy Fury's ass. I've never been impressed with Tommy Fury besides his last name. And then Nate would be awesome, man. That would be the one. That would be the one. Who wouldn't watch that?
Jake Paul's still going to knock Nate Diaz out, but I'm still going to watch it. I mean,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Dude, I cash on Jake Paul knocking everybody out. Breaks my heart every time, but I'm 3-0 betting on Jake Paul.
At least you bet on him. I did the opposite. I was like, this dude ain't going to knock anybody out each time, and then he keeps doing it. So I will bet on him against Tommy Fury, although something tells me Jake Paul is going to be a heavy favorite once you get those official odds. But dude, no, I don't think he would knock out Nate Diaz. I disagree with that one. I think that Nate, I'm not going to say beast, but Nate's a great boxer. And I'm not saying that Jake Paul isn't, when it comes to their boxing, skills and their skill set and the way that they kind of took to it, I would say they're on, they're both impressive. Although one guy's been doing it for 3 or 4 years, one guy's been doing it for 20. So I would be shocked if, what you just said, if Jake Paul knocked out Nate Diaz, bro, I would be absolutely freaking shocked. Done. That would happen.
Nate's got a chin too. I'll give him that. He's got a chin.
He's got a chance,
especially with the 12-ounce boxing gloves. Yeah. My money's
It's nice
still
of you to give Nate Diaz a chance against the YouTuber.
Yeah, of course, obviously. UFC star beating a YouTuber, hopefully. So regardless of Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler and Jake Paul, one more bet I want to talk about, and this is my favorite of the night. I already laid 5 units down on it. I caught Volkonovsky Moneyline -180. He's floating around -190 now. I'm a huge Max fan, probably my second or third favorite fighter in UFC. I thought Max won the second fight, and I was devastated when he lost both of them. This time, I'm fully convinced Volk has been the one to improve more. I am fully convinced Volk is now the more well-rounded martial artist, and I'm sick of coming out of Max losing a championship fight to Volkanovski being heartbroken without any money in my pocket. So if Max loses this time, at least I'm having a nice payday on top of it.
So what does that make Max on the money? Like +140, +150? That's awful tasty. Although I wonder,
Max is +155.
+150. That's a big number, man. I wonder, especially if you're like me and you think that he won at least the second fight, getting the plus money on him. If it's a close fight again, Jake, I would think that kind of like we saw in the second one, they don't like changing the hand, the belt's hands if it's really, really close. Most of the time, the guy who came in as the champion gets his hand raised at the end. So my fear, if I bet Max, is that if it's close again, what makes me think it won't be? I've seen it for 10 rounds. That's incredibly close. That they're just going to raise Volk's hand for a third time and say, we're done with this. So that would steer me away a little bit. Although if I was to bet Max Holloway in a specific way, I think that I would take him by knockout. Now, you're going to get some long odds on that. I mean, you're talking about a guy in Volkanovski who literally hasn't been knocked out. The reason I say that is this. I think Max has to fight different. I think that Max could argue, and I could argue, that he won definitely the second fight, maybe the first fight, and neither time he got his hand raised, which means why would you do that again? Like, you're going to go out there and fight in different ways. So punches and bunches is the way that Max Holloway, I could see it late TKO where both guys are hanging around. We've seen Max Holloway. I mean, think about the Cater fight. Think about the Ortega fight where he just turns these guys' face into absolute hamburger, but the guys don't go away. Part of that is the tough dudes that he's fought, but part of it is also because that's typically not what Max does, right? He's all about output, kind of like we were just talking about the Diaz brother. Like, if they're going to knock you out, it's going to be a TKO because they're going to punch you once, they're going to punch you 100 times in a row. I think that Max is going to go for the knockout. Like, I think that it's going to be a little bit different. I think you're going to see some crazy stuff, some knees, some elbows, some head kicks, some stuff from Max that typically you would not see, only because I think that Max thinks that he won at least the second fight, if not both. And he's grateful to get a third opportunity because most of the time, unless you split, we don't see trilogies like that, and that's not the case. So give me Max by knockout, man. Like, I don't love it, Jake. It's just I'm talking myself into it. The more I talk it out loud, it seems to me that might be his only path to victory.
Well, you got to remember, too, in the second fight, I'm pretty sure Max dropped Volk. I know he at least wobbled him, but I think in the second round, he dropped Volk pretty clean in their second fight.
Yeah, he did, although it didn't take long for Volk to get right back up.
Right, but he has the power to at least drop him. So if he comes in there saying, I either got to finish this dude or I'm not going to win a decision, that's the only way I'm winning it, he might be able to do it, man.
But you know better than anybody what happens in that situation. You leave yourself open to get knocked out yourself. So
and Volk's got the power.
What makes it even more intriguing. Like, if you're telling me these guys are going to stand in a phone booth and just bang and see which other guy knocks the other guy out, yes, I am in for that one for sure.
I'm in.
I'm cool.
Call it a night. That's good for me. And like I said, I got the money if Volk wins, and I got my heart happy if Max wins. So
there you go.
We'll see. But yeah, that's what I got for this weekend, UFC 276. Any bet you got that you really like sticking out to you so far? Did we pretty much cover everything?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed all the other ones that you got. Like you said, I'd probably like to parlay a couple of those together. But, man, like, I knew that I was excited for that Holloway Volkanovski fight. But once you and I talked about it here a little bit, I'm like, dude, if Max ends up knocking him out, I'm going to absolutely lose my stuff. Because like you said, I think that he's definitely a top 10 favorite fighter amongst UFC honks and one of my probably 5 favorite fighters of all time. Like, I love that dude.
Yeah, I love Max. I hope I lose the money. I hope he gets it done. But
I hope you lose money too.
Thanks, dude. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Tapped Out. Catch us this Saturday before the fights, 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time. That guy, I don't know where I'll edit him, one of these spots. Sean Levine will be hosting with Brendan Tobin. I'll be behind the scenes producing. Thanks for hanging out, Sean.
See what?
Cool. Peace out, y'all.